Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I hope you can hear me. Pastor Dar said I have to use the microphone. As Pastor Dar said, today's demonstration came out of a conversation that occurred last Sunday. And someone mentioned that their blood pressure was increasing. And I immediately asked whether they had ever used a singing bowl to lower their blood pressure. Well, from there, Pastor Dar, in her typical enthusiastic style, said, "Oh, Karen, would you be willing to bring your bowl to church and explain about it and do a little demonstration?" So what I have learned is that singing bowls are available in either metal or, like this one, in crystal quartz. Now, the metal is definitely less fragile, so it's easier and less risky to transport. However, I did learn when I started to produce a sound out of that metal bowl, it wasn't working for me, and this was much easier for a beginner to work with. Now, whether the bowl is made of metal or of crystal, each bowl is actually tuned to a specific frequency that matches a note of the musical scale. And as you rim the bowl to make it sing, that frequency produces a sound that resonates within the body. And what it is said to do is to clear out the systems or the chakra energy centers in the body. Studies have shown that singing bowl meditation can give us benefits spiritually, psychologically, and physiologically. I find that the spiritual singing bowl meditation for me aligns me more closely to my spiritual self. Psychologically, you can realize improvement in your emotional affect, and it can actually help to reduce stress, alleviate anxiety, and even to ease depression. Physiologically, it can help by lowering the heart rate, which would be good right now, lowering the respiratory rate, as well as lowering your blood pressure. So as for the practice itself, I decided to do some research because I sat there with this bowl and thought, okay, so now what do I do? And I came across an article that really struck a chord with me. And this person suggested that you approach your singing bowl practice by first setting intention. So for me, I decided that my singing bowl would also serve as my prayer bowl. So I created a list which bears the name of all of those that I love and have concerns for. Every Sunday after church, I take the prayer lists that are included in our celebrate, and I add those to our bowl. And this would be today's celebrate. So then, as I sit before my bowl, I can lift up my prayers for those on my list, but also for our church family and anyone for whom one or more of you carry any angst or concern. I recently demonstrated my bowl for Pastor Dar, and she asked me why at one point I struck the four sides of my bowl. Well, I couldn't give her an answer in that moment, but within a few seconds I understood that purpose for me. Because when I'm done with my prayer lists and reading all those names, I then also reach out prayers for everyone in the world and for the world itself. And I realized that in my mind, that tapping on the four sides was very symbolic of reaching out to the four corners of the world. So what does my practice look like? Well, my bowl is always ready. At the end of the day, I set my intentions. I approach my bowl. I light my candles. I sit on the floor with my bowl in front of me, and I do a breathing technique called alternate nostril breathing. And that is meant to calm you, to ground you, and you become so centered that now all you focus on and all you think about is your breath. Every thought is gone. And so it is then that I read from my prayer lists. I raise up my prayers for the world and the people in it, and I begin to bring my bowl alive. And as I do, I imagine that my prayers are reaching out to God. I'm not going to tap this as loudly as I do at home in case it bothers him.